Hello, hello. This is a rare occasion that I pop on to YouTube in this raw sort of format. This is usually how I show up in my pajamas on the Patreon. Um, I haven't really been allowed to broadcast or send transmissions lately. And when I say I haven't been allowed, it's my higher self, it's my guidance team supporting me, guiding me. It's been 100% about anything that is in reciprocity, equal give and take. If there is no equal give and take, then I'm not allowed to do it. That being said, I think there's a misunderstanding about equal give and take. So this is actually going to be a message that I'm really directing to masculine collective, those that identify as being a masculine, whether that's through your gender or the dominant energy within you. And I love to hear from you, all of you, that you guys are going through these awakenings and these experiences of kind of getting it, like things clicking in on your spiritual journeys and things making sense. But I want to be really clear. There is no sort of hierarchy. There is no one person out there that has all the answers and that's better than you or that understands things in a way better than you. All it is people that have codes, that have certain embodiments through experiential learning that they can assist you with and transfer through transference. So when you have an open heart, which I know a lot of you are coming into an open heart, when your heart is open, you can actually receive that knowledge and information from somebody else. But it doesn't mean that you're less than, it doesn't mean someone's better than you, and it doesn't mean that you're better than anyone else. So the hierarchical thing is something that I think masculines get really caught up into because of our society and our culture and the way that masculine energy kind of I call it polices yourself, the way that you police yourself. So there's this idea, like I hear from masculines, okay? And they'll be like, well, I didn't meditate today, but I've been doing a pretty good job. And I meditated Monday through Wednesday, but I skipped today. As if their guides or their higher self or God itself is like, bad masculine, bad. You needed to meditate. No, it's not about that. And I'm making a joke of it. But please know there's no it's not making fun of. It's just the comedy of it that as if this God is this like father figure, as if God and your guides are this person that can say, well, you're doing well, and you deserve love now, you deserve to be rewarded now because you've meditated every day this week, right? The spiritual journey, the spiritual world runs in complete opposition to everything you've learned in the matrix, right? How you were taught to survive in school, in business, in work, and whatever the things that you've been doing, even in the conditional love relationships that you've had, where if I show up like this, they will give me this and I will give them this and there'll be this exchange and then we look good together and then blah, 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 all of the things, right? That the masculines were manipulated into, right? And you're waking up and you're seeing it all and you're like, oh God, this is not what I want. Wow. Okay, great. You're right on time. So you're doing well. But I just keep getting these messages. My team just keeps showing me these messages that there's these masculines that are holding themselves back from their ultimate fulfillment, their ultimate wish fulfillment, and anything that they possibly might want to go for, because they don't feel like they can see it 100% clearly. They can't see every single thing that could potentially happen. And they feel like they're waiting for a sign. They're waiting for the answer. They're waiting for something to fall into their lap. And the thing is about a spiritual journey, the more and more advanced, if you want to call it that, you get, the less you know, the less you know, the more you're entrusted with, but the less guidance you're actually given. And you're meant to act on a feeling. You're meant to act on your heart. You're meant to move into this action from a place of knowing. And the knowing is I don't know. The knowing is I have no idea what's going to happen, but I know I have to do this, whatever it is, or I have to say this, or I have to, you get it. I have to move forward. I can't stay here. And my worth has nothing to do with what I say, what I have to offer, what I give, what I tangibly own. It has nothing to do with any of those things. My worth is not caught up in any of those things. Okay. There's a lot of masculines that I feel are working through this like provider programming, provider archetypes. It's like this feeling that I have to earn. I have to earn love. I have to earn respect. I have to earn happiness. I have to earn good times. I have to earn my play. I have to earn, right? And that's a very, very distorted masculine perspective. It's not your fault. We all carry this within us. We all have to work on this, right? You know, active, dedicated, oops, I'm sorry, baby. Active, dedicated, committed rest takes as much strength and energy and commitment as active, dedicated work, right? To be able to say, I'm going to sit in this room and be with myself, all by myself, and be alone and be still and be quiet and wait. Wait for something, wait for direction, wait for guidance, wait for nothing. Perhaps I'm waiting for nothing. Perhaps nothing will arrive, but I'm going to be okay with that. I'm just going to sit and be still. There's very few people that are strong enough to do that, honestly, right? So if you are coming into this, and it's not, by the way, it's not about meditating. It's not about crossing something off your list, right? It's not about being like, okay, I meditated today. And maybe you have a practice that works for you. Maybe you have like a system that you go about that like tends to work. And that's great. That's great. I'm not in any way saying to throw those out, but I'm saying there's a difference between stillness and there's a difference between active sort of progress. And sometimes the things that you're seeking and the things that you're waiting for and the ahas come through the flow, which is a lot of not knowing. The feminine collective, I'm sure, can relate to this pretty dramatically, because we have been on these journeys where we don't get to know anything. We don't get to know where our next paycheck is coming from. Most of us, we don't get to know where our food is coming from. We don't get to know who we're going to be engaging with, who's in our life. We literally are in the dark completely. Now, we're in the dark in the 3D. We're not necessarily in the dark in the higher realms, because we do have a really strong connection with our guidance system and our intuition. However, do you know how hard that is to exist and live in a world that's so 3D focused and 3D based, and to literally not know anything, like not know anything, right? So it's possible. I guess is my message there, is like, you can be okay with not knowing. You can be okay with not having a plan. You can be okay with not, you don't have to, okay, this is where I started this conversation. Reciprocity. Reciprocity has nothing to do with, okay, I'm gonna make you a meal. I'm gonna make you a meal. Come over, I'm gonna make you a meal, okay? And now you go, oh, you just made me a meal. Thank you so much. I will do the dishes. I will do the dishes. That's tit for tat, reciprocity. I gotta do this, right? Look, there's nothing wrong with being kind and being giving and being like, I'm gonna, let's make this equal. However, when you're so focused on that, you're actually in a form of control and you're in a form of attachment versus just being in a state of flow. And sometimes in a state of flow, it feels really good to just be served. It feels really good to just receive and be given to. And I'm using this as an example, okay? Because you can apply this to many different things. I'm not necessarily being literal here, because if you have a system in your house that works and that's how it works, then by all means, this is just what they're giving me. It's not about this tit for tat. It's not about, oh, this person is giving me so much spiritual strength and spiritual knowledge and spiritual understanding, so therefore I need to show up in some big way in the 3D, and I need to be able to give them, stability, and I need to be able to give them financial support, and I need to be able. No, that's not how it works. You are inherently worthy just by being who you are, because if you are in the masculine energy, there is a deep presence, a grounded energy, a peaceful, oh, I just saw one of my orbs. Oh, that's such confirmation. The masculine energy is such a gift to somebody that is more in the feminine energy, or even somebody who is meant to be in a divine masculine energy, but they're on the journey of getting there. They're not quite there yet. So your energy alone is a gift. Your presence is a gift. That is all you ever have to offer. And you don't even have to offer it, because guess what? The thing is it's very easy. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything to be worthy, to provide value, to be in reciprocity. But you do have to know your worth. You do have to know what you offer, because when you do, you can fully embody it, and it beams out of you. That sun energy, that masculine energy is the sun, right? It's the sun. And we all know how much we need the sun, right? You could be having a bad day and you go sit in the sun for like 5 minutes and you just feel so much peace, and you feel so much better, and you feel energetic, and you feel revitalized, and you feel, so Masculines and masculine collective, as you're working through deconditioning from this provider programming, right? You'll start to notice that you're moving more from the heart space, where when it feels good to give, and it feels aligned, and it feels like you're not in your head about it at all. It's just naturally pouring out from you. That's how you know, right? But when you're trying to control it, right? Let go of control issues. Let go of control issues. What does it say? Allow the situation to unfold. Yeah. So when you're trying to plot and scheme and plan, which you're all very good at, you're kind of pushing the most aligned, highest potential timeline away, because that highest potential timeline is accessed through the void, through the feminine energy within you that we all carry. That is the womb space. That's the creation space. That's the space that everything can come and flow and arrive. It just arrives, right? And for you as a masculine energy, it probably will arrive as giving you an action step and something to do, right? Something to move towards, move into. And a lot of times your energy is focused in the 3D, and that's totally great. There's a reason we have these polarities. There's a reason we have these differences to be honored and expressed. But once you get it, let's say you've been doing all this and you've been sitting in this space and you're fully arrived, and you're feeling all this strength come return to you, and you're feeling really good. And then you get this guidance. You're like, okay, I need to go do this, right? Or whatever it is. I know I always say I need to go do this, but again, it's not about what you do. Just for channeling's sake, we're going to use easy words here. What some of you do then is you go into this 5 of Swords, where you get so obsessed with succeeding at it. You get so obsessed with succeeding at it that you actually come into self-sabotage. So the depiction of this card is it's very clear. You can see, right? There's this guy who's like hoarding all the swords for himself. It kind of reminds me of like kids in the playground when they're all playing together and they're all sharing and they're playing together, and then one kid gets a little bit overzealous and a little overexcited and all of a sudden like hoards all the toys, and then before he knows it, no one wants to play with him anymore, right? So, but the whole time, all you wanted to do was play. You just wanted to engage and have fun, but you got really, really obsessed, really, really attached to the control of winning. Winning. So you get excited about this idea. You have whatever spirit is giving you, whatever clarity, whatever aha, whatever inner knowing that you're being given. And you're just like, oh yeah, that feels so good. I want to move towards that. Yes. Right. And then you just you get in your head. And I know I've given this analogy before, but this is always how they show it to me. It's like the longer you think about something, the harder it becomes, because the more you're in this dynamic, because you're examining all these different options, you're weighing everything, and you're like, oh, this could happen, and this could potentially happen, and that could potentially happen, and this could potentially happen. And you want this so badly. Like you want this so badly. And that's the thing. It's okay to want. Your desires are a point of attraction. Your desires are a point of manifestation. There's a reason for them, right? They're not something to be shamed. And that's another thing that you've really been gaslit in society, is that your desires are shameful, and that there's something wrong with you if you desire certain things, and that you have to be practical, and you have to be committed, and that if you're committed to something, you have to stay with that commitment, even if that commitment is long past its expiration date, right? So you do have to decondition, you do have to unravel from all this, but there is this very organic way of moving and flowing within that masculine energy. And I just want you all to understand how valuable you are, how powerful your energy is, how needed your energy is. For feminines, 110%. Feminines have a very hard time of feeling, even no matter how spiritual they get, no matter how strong they get, no matter how whatever you name it, feeling secure and safe in this matrix, in this 3D world that we're still living in for the time being, right? It's really hard for feminines to feel 100% secure and safe, and for them to be able to like relax their shoulders. Like I have so many shoulder issues because I'm like walking around tense in the world all the time, and then I notice it and I'm like, okay, right? But there's just an energy. It's just energy, right? It's all energy. And the gifts that your piercing intellect and your piercing wisdom and your piercing truth gifts humanity is also extremely profound, extremely profound. I sometimes channel, often lately, for whatever reason in my work, I've been channeling masculine energy very, very strongly. And it doesn't beat around the bush, and it definitely kicks your ass, but in the best possible way. And many of you have been gaslit and manipulated and kind of conditioned into keeping your truth to yourself, or manipulating your truth, kind of trying to soften the edges. So then before you know it, you're actually speaking lies and you're not telling the truth anymore. And it's like a slow, subtle process. It's not like you had that intention. It's like, you want to be in integrity. You don't have the intention to lie, but you just end up doing it because the world tells you that it doesn't want your truth and that your truth is, go throw that in the garbage. Nobody wants to hear that, right? But your truth is real. And it takes a healed, strong person to be able to receive your truth. But I want you to know there's a lot of feminines out here that have been doing their work that are ready to receive your truth. I've been experimenting with it in my own communities. And yeah, sometimes they get triggered at first. Sometimes they do get triggered. And then the inclination when you are in the masculine energy is like, okay, well, I'm going to just back off then. I'm going to go into my little corner and you deal with it. I'm not going to help you deal with it because that's not the masculine energy, right? The masculine energy delivers the truth, walks away, right? This person can receive it or not. And if this person receives it, then there's a union, there's a merge, right? There's an ability to come into deeper and deeper, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for here? I literally can hear some of you saying the word. You're like, this is what you're trying to say. This is what you're trying to say. And I can't think of what it is. Not authenticity, but vulnerability. I think that's what I'm trying. Intimacy? I don't know. One of those words. You name it. You pick your poison. Or you pick your medicine. So just know how needed that is, that truth. And even if you are guided to pull away, in delivering the truth, whether it has to be at your work, in your family, whatever, in all these different situations, just know that you are planting a seed. And it's not about you, how this person reacts. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you, right? It doesn't mean you have to say, oh, shoot, maybe I need to change that and I need to say it in a different way. No, you need to keep speaking your truth and you need to allow the world to meet you and come up to meet you. And the right people will. And the right people that are ready to receive it will receive it. And the amount of transformations that they experience in their life from your truth is immeasurable, right? It's really incredible to witness. And this masculine rising energy, right? That the media probably won't talk about, right? There probably won't be like a male version of Me Too. Maybe there will, that'd be cool, but I kind of doubt it. But that's okay. There's still a community that's honoring the true masculine energy to rise and the true divine masculine to rise. And when you all come out of your slumber and you really come up and you step up, you watch how quickly things change, right? The masculine energy moves very quickly. It's very, very quick. And it can like take things down in like a moment. It can like dismantle something in a second. Whereas feminine energy, it's just different, right? Feminine energy might be the energy that kind of comes in. So the masculine maybe delivers their truth, and then the feminine energy can kind of like give some curves to it, round it out a little bit. Here's what this person was saying, right? You know what I mean? But that's not your business, masculine. You don't have to do that. That's not up to you. It has nothing to do with you. I just want you to know that. What else did you want me to say to them? Those of you that are very connected to a feminine that you are aware of, that you, and honestly, not even someone you have to have met. Because I know I've talked to some of you and you feel very connected to these journeys, but you don't know if you've necessarily met this person, but you can feel their energy in your life. You can feel maybe dreams, maybe astral traveling. Typically a twin flame, you've felt your whole life. You just didn't really know what it was, but you felt something that was kind of interesting, or I don't know. Anyways, that's a tangent. And so it doesn't really matter, but you feel this connection to it. So I want you to know, when you do have that connection, when you do have that cord, that unbreakable cord, your feminine's going to feel literally every single thing that you feel. Really, they really are. They're going to feel it all, and they're going to understand it, and they're going to understand you, and they're going to have compassion. But kicking into your provider energy, kicking into your, I want to do right by the people in my life. I want to, masculine energy truly does want to serve, and it wants to serve in a very specific way. And that's why masculines are so committed to purpose and going out into the world, and, their career, that, it usually manifests in our matrix as career, but half the time y'all aren't even connected to your career. You like have no heart energy connected to what you're doing, right? But it is this desire to serve. It is this desire to provide and to give. So when you are connected on a spiritual journey like this with another person, the better you feel, right? The more aligned you feel, the more free you feel, the more in your true masculine energy that you feel, the more vitality, creativity, gifts you're going to be energetically sending this person. That person's going to feel you on a really, really deep level, and they're going to feel all that. Simultaneously, when you're stuck in really dark, situations, whether you're giving your power away, whether people are hurting you, walking all over you, whatever it is, that person's also going to feel it. And I think every journey is a little bit unique. But there are kind of themes. There are themes I see, and like, if the masculine person is more connected into the 3D and the feminine's more connected into the higher realms, well, the feminine's going to feel the masculine in their 3D life. So weird things are going to manifest, right? Car accidents, health issues, like physical pain, like all kinds of weird things. I could list it. Whereas maybe the masculine feels it more in a higher realm way. But just know that you're so interconnected, and there's so much support. But there does come a point where it's really time to receive the support, to open yourself up, to welcome it in, and to stop fighting yourself in this belief system that you are not deserving, or that you have to earn gifts, you have to earn love, you have to earn all these things, because you are already inherently worthy. Feels like there's so much more I could say, but I don't know if there's any more they want me to say here. Okay. Reciprocity is not a tit for tat. It's not a potluck, right? It's not oh, this person brought 2 things to the potluck. Well, no, that's all bullshit. Your energy is enough. Your energy is enough, and your energy does more than you could ever imagine and ever know. And I see that happen all the time in this work that I do for people, in this work that I'm doing with and alongside people, seeing how the masculine energy pierces straight to the heart of something, right? Okay. I guess that's it. I'm in a lull. I was about to say more, but energetically, remember, you are more powerful than you could possibly even imagine. And in the 3D, you are leading. You are the leader, especially if you're connected to another person. And so every choice that you make or don't make, every time that you kind of hold yourself back or hurt yourself, it does affect this other person. It really does. And vice versa, right? I mean, vice versa. But there is an energy in the collective right now, which is probably why they really wanted me to come on and do this very like out of left field transmission, to let you masculines know that you are so interconnected, and all that you're going through and experiencing right now, there are people that are very aware of what it is, and are very very committed to you freeing yourself, very committed to your success, very committed to you experiencing joy, and all the things that you dream of, that you want. There's a whole collective really holding your hand and holding you high. And they know, like, that's the other thing too, is like these feminines, like, they feel it. They feel when you hurt. They feel, oh my God, trust me. Like, it is a weird journey. It's a doozy. It is a motherfucker. Okay. Like, beyond. And I sometimes think that the masculines, because you are the 3D and you experience that transference energy through the cord more in the higher realms, it doesn't feel as real. Just know it's very, very, very real for the feminines, in that sense. For whatever reason, they want you to know this. I don't know. They want you to know this. I guess maybe it's to take the pressure off yourself, that it's not really like, there's nothing you can say that would really shock your person, I guess, too. That's kind of what's coming through. There's really, yeah, they're just showing me that you create mountains out of molehills. Like, you create monsters out of nothing. And it's all in the mind, because your heart knows. Your heart already knows the way. Your heart already knows the truth. Your heart already knows. Very interesting dynamic, because that's not something that feminines struggle with as much. So that's why that's why I'm being kind of chunky or clunky in my channeling it, because even though I've had a lot of experience with my own masculine energy, and I've started to really understand things from the masculine perspective in such a deeper way, this is still hard for me, because because feminines just kind of naturally flow with it, where they're like, okay, well, I don't really have the answers and that's okay, but I don't need to have the answers, you know? But it feels like that's probably what you're all being initiated on, actually, because it's connected to this deconditioning from the provider programming. Doesn't mean you're not a provider. It doesn't mean you can't give. I mean, you're designed to serve, right? It doesn't mean that you, it's just in a totally, totally different way than you have been doing. Or that you previously, maybe you're already moving into this new energy, and it's just, it's like the divine is like, it's time to take the training wheels off. Like, you're good, you got this. And you're like, no, I don't. But you do. I've had conversations with quite a few of you, and you guys are way more powerful than you give yourself credit for. That's another thing too. Like, stop being so, what's the word I want to use? It's like you're looking to people in the community, like that, maybe like someone like me or someone that has a channel or whatever. And you're like, you guys help me. How do I say this? It's just like a hierarchical thing. It's like, you're like, I haven't earned the right to speak yet. Or, I don't get to speak on this. Like, I did bad things in my past, or whatever it is. I don't know. There's like a weird sort of thing that you guys have where, well, at the core of it, it's seeking validation, right? It's seeking validation. Am I good enough? Did I do good? Have I earned this? Have I been working hard enough? Right? And we all have to release that. Feminines, masculines, it doesn't matter. Every single person has to release this like seeking validation thing, and just being our own authority. But with you guys, it's so interesting because you don't even know what you offer. Like, you don't even know what you offer. It is like, it happens in our Patreon community all the time. We'll have like live events, and like the feminine like energies will be speaking and like sharing or whatever. And the masculines will wait till the very end. Like, they won't say anything. They'll be like silent the whole time. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. It's like, they're like, oh, is it timid? Yeah. And masculine energy is not meant to be timid. Like, y'all are not meant to be timid. And they're like, they're waiting. They're like, okay, like, let me, oh, you go ahead. Oh, did you want to talk? Yeah, you go. Right. And they're just like sitting there. And then the second that they open their mouth, like, and they may like, I don't know, have like a sentence, like, that's it. There's like a sentence, and it just breaks the whole room. Like, it breaks the whole energy. Like, everyone's heart just like opens, because there's this like, you know what it is? There's a lack of that energy out there. There's a lot of people pretending to be in that energy, or they're in the distorted version of it, right? I've yet to be honest with you, and I'm just going to share this on YouTube. I've yet to come across a divine masculine energy sharing in a space like this that is really, really authentic, and that really, really carries that Yeshua energy, that Archangel Michael Yeshua energy. I've yet to come. I mean, there's great ones, but then like when you really peel back the layers, the energy's off. There's something in there that's not quite right. And I don't mean to offend anybody, because maybe you guys have people you follow that are in the masculine energy that you really respect and love, but I've yet to come across one. That's all I'm saying. And so anyways, there's a need. There's a need for you all. There really, really is. It's like we're holding a seat at the table for you, but you have to be ready to eat. You have to be like, okay, yeah, it's time. I'm deserving of this spiritual abundance that all these other, people are experiencing. Okay. I don't know. This is a weird transmission. It was very unexpected as well, because I did not expect to be doing this, but I know a lot of you watch on here silently versus interacting and being in the Patreon and whatnot. So I had to share it here. All right. I'm sending you guys a lot of love. Really, truly, you are so honored. You are so respected, and you are so needed. You are so needed, and not in the tit for tat conditional love way. Like, I need you to take care of me, right? It's in a totally different way, but you were very, very needed, especially at this time. It's like we're hitting a portal window. It feels like, where there is going to be some change, and you better believe that the controllers and the darkness is going to try and overtake your guys's coming up. If you know what I mean? Like, they're going to plant people that are not of the light to try and mimic you, because that's been happening to the divine feminines and for forever, like, where there's like really dark feminines that are mimicking the true divine feminine. So just so you know, maybe that'll light a fire in your ass. You're really needed, and you better get in here, because there's going to be a lot of fake ones. there's going to be a lot of fake ones. Anywho, okay. That's not a very happy message to end on, but I'm sending you all a lot of love, and there's a lot of people that believe in you.